What do you mean you didn't sleep good?
I didn't sleep good last night.
How do you not sleep good?
Well, I tell you,
You're busy all day.
my bags, I'd never get these bags on the airlines. They'd weigh them. Yeah, I just didn't sleep good. I was
All right,
kind
well,
of tossing and turning, and I don't know why.
All right,
I have no idea.
let's do a countdown, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, brother.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of The Jersey Alchemist. This is the beginning of the Memorial Day holiday weekend in the United States. Thank you.
And I'm Philip D'Angelo. You didn't let your name roll off your tongue that time. And
I guess maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I think I'm preoccupied with the holiday weekend because
well, what are
I
you doing this
don't
weekend?
like traffic. And I have a family function on Sunday, and I know I'm going to be sitting in traffic. I can't wait to go to the family function, but getting from point A to point B in Jersey, going north to south on a holiday weekend can be tough. So, people, thank you for tuning in to the Jersey Alchemist. And yes, thanks, Phil, for reminding me I am your host, Dr. John Gerard Gallucci.
All right, you still got that. It still rolled off the tongue. Maybe you should invest in a helicopter. You have enough property in the back of your house where it's like a landing pad.
Yeah,
you know, you can go up, down.
It's true. We'll take a few of the trees down and we'll land back there.
Yeah, 2, 3. I mean, you know, it's no big deal. You'll be there in no time flat.
Right.
Yeah, traffic's going to be bad.
Traffic's going to be bad. Yeah, it's just going to be.
I was down the shore earlier today, and let me tell you, there's a lot of people down there early.
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the weather's not going to be that great. I think a little bit of rain this afternoon.
Really?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
All right.
That's typical.
So. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably
why you're not sleeping.
I got to stop being the old curmudgeon. I'm an old man now, Phil.
Yeah, well, we are old men now. I mean,
but
come on.
You know, I tell you what, all right. You know what? You want to, in keeping with the holiday weekend, Jersey, all that thing, going down the shore.
That's right.
You want to do the wheel?
Let's do the wheel, absolutely.
Let's do the
100%.
wheel.
Bones, excuse me.
It's okay.
This is Bones' weekend now. I mean, being a veteran, Memorial Day weekend,
yes.
Let's not forget, it's all about veterans and their sacrifices.
Absolutely. Give it a good spin, Phil.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. That was a nice spin.
It was.
I just say
it
so.
was. What's it say?
All right. It's a one word. Apathy.
Whoa.
Apathy.
There's a good.
Apathy.
Wow. Jeez. Well, maybe I'm feeling apathetic at the beginning of a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
That little psychic, tension, friction going on.
I don't think Bones really appreciates it on a Memorial Day weekend. Do you, Bones?
Apathy?
Yeah.
Did you say the word of the day is apathy?
Yeah.
Oh, I despise apathy.
Okay.
I remember the days when I wasn't tethered on a pole with tiny little plastic wheels under me.
The good old days.
People think I'm apathetic. I'm anything but apathetic.
We don't think you're
I have no
apathetic.
choice. I'm thankful to be part of this production, The Jersey Alchemist.
We love
But
you.
to all you people out there that aren't stuck on a steel pole, that don't rely on a bunch of plastic wheels to get from point A to point B, why would you be apathetic?
Tell us.
You've got 2 legs. Get up. Do something. Let your voices be heard.
Good for you.
Stop with the apathy. Please.
Wow, that was well said. Well said.
Very good, Bones. Very good.
That might be the most profound little speech he's ever given.
Yeah, he's got a few good ones in there.
I mean, usually everything is tongue in cheek, so to speak. But
Well,
yeah, that wasn't bad.
Good for you, Bones. I think we both agree wholeheartedly very timely on the wheel, on the word. Wow. You didn't rig that wheel, did you?
Maybe.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Not, certainly not on the Memorial Day holiday, right?
What are your feelings, John, about apathy or being apathetic? I mean, you can describe a lot of society that way.
You know, I think where I want to go with that is a little bit deep, but why not?
Well,
Right?
let's do it.
Well, here goes the spiritual rant again. I'll try not to kill the whole episode, but you know, apathy is a curse. And I'm looking at Bones, not because I think you're apathetic. I know you're not, Bones. We know you a long time now. If you're given the attributes to be anything but apathetic, and then you choose apathy, it's like blowing over the house of cards. I'd even go as far as saying it's like shitting into the punch bowl. If life were a party, why would you want to do something that just stopped the festivities? Shitting in the punch bowl would be one of those things. Can you imagine if our great entertainers or great politicians, not the scumbag politicians, there's too many of those, or the great athletes that we kind of turn to, what if they were all apathetic? The world would not know them, would they? Right? So if there's a plan in the world, and I believe that there is, because you know I believe in God, if God gives you a plan and a destiny and a fate, and we went to the wheel of fate and destiny, if you're apathetic, you're basically saying to the universe and to the Creator, phooey on you and your plan. I'm not buying into it. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to eat a bag of chips and watch some stupid mind poison TV show. Watch the news. There's mind poison for you if you watch the network news. And it doesn't matter if you're in the UK or Canada or Australia. You guys have a lot of work to do down there. My God. You better not be apathetic. You better not be. And you know something? God forbid, with the shootings that have happened lately, now we have all of these jack-off politicians all clamoring about the AR-15s and gun control and the Second Amendment. Well, I'll tell you what, if all you people cherish the Second Amendment and your ability to bear arms, apathy just might kill you. Look what's happening in China right now. Look what's happening in Shanghai. Millions of people locked down in their homes, whatever their homes may be, concrete cubicle high-rises, and they got no food and no medicine and no water, and there's no sanitary there's nothing. The whole system has been locked down and collapsed, and it's millions and millions of people, and they're starting to protest. But how far can a protest go if all you have is your mouth and your two hands and your two legs? That's what the Second Amendment's all about, my friends. It's exactly the opposite of apathy. And that's not where I thought the word apathy would lead us. But, Bones, I think you agree. With that uniform on, I know you agree.
Well, John, do any people come to mind that are very apathetic? I mean, and you're trying to you have to shake them a little bit and try and get them to move or act in a certain way, like, come on, pick it up. And they just don't, you know?
Well, I think there's a lot of people that are apathetic. And I think that what's going on in the world is such a turnoff to people that when they turn off, that's the switch. Turning people off with the bullshit of the day, especially the mainstream media, turning that switch to off because you're turning the people off is really the same thing as turning the apathy switch on. A turn off about we have no say, things are hopeless, they'll never listen, I'm just one person, out of 7.5 or 7.7 billion. That gives people a sense of hopelessness, a sense of voicelessness, and it leads right down the chute into the hopper that is apathy. Don't do it.
Don't condone it. I mean, I would get that feeling with a lot of people when it comes to voting and elections.
Oh, wow.
Why am I going to vote?
Wow.
Why? No, like you said, I'm only one vote. My vote never matters. My side never wins. So less and less people.
My side never
Yeah,
wins.
never wins.
Right.
Wah, wah, wah. So
Right.
it's like, how apathetic is that? I mean, that's
Very.
that's disgusting because
Very.
people, especially on Memorial Day weekend, sacrificed a lot for us to be able to vote.
Yeah, no, they really did. And, there are people that don't vote. I have family members that don't vote.
Disgraceful.
But they're not apathetic people.
Hmm.
They are non-voters for different reasons. They so despise what they see in politics that they opt out. They choose to not vote. Now, I have been on the very brink of, right on the rim, on that edge of the abyss that's filled with non-voters for all different reasons, and you're right, it's that feeling of hopelessness, and my vote is never going to make a difference because I live in a town where everybody's this way and I'm that way, and my vote means nothing. Or I refuse to let a certain blonde-haired woman that's a politician, I refuse to let her own the word deplore or deplorable. I'll use it. I think she's deplorable. We all know who that is. You're deplorable, Missy, deplorable. But if I choose not to vote, it could be for myriad reasons. But every time I go right to the edge to say, I'm not going to vote this time, screw them, then I think about, if I don't vote, I'm apathetic. And I don't think it's a good way to be. It's not a helpful way to be. So let's take it a step further. What if a great wave came across the planet? The wave. What if that great wave of love and light came across the planet and everybody was sensing it and feeling it? What if 1 billion people decided to be apathetic about it? And they just decided to opt out. Like, well, okay, love and light. All right, Jesus is back. Oh, here comes this deity and that deity riding on a cloud, Would you be apathetic about that? If the great love boat were going to take off and take us to the 5th dimension, would you be apathetic about that? Would you not even go down to the wharf where the boat is disembarking from? Would you not go? Apathy's no good, people. No how, no way.
And especially when it comes to voting, John, I mean, think how many people are in the United States now? 300?
About 330 million on the record.
All right, so 330.
And every day it grows.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, 340 people, 330 million people. And how many people voted in the last presidential election, supposedly? Say 75 and 80, 155, 156 million. So you're talking half the people.
Yeah.
But yet, when it comes to what's going on in this country, everybody complains.
Oh, everybody complains.
100 people.
Everybody
And I
complains,
found
right.
that the more people that complain, if you ask them, did you vote? You don't even have to ask them who they voted for. Did you vote? And they go, nah, I stopped voting a long time ago. Oh, but yet 100% of the people complaining.
Right. Well, then they're apathetic complainers.
I know, absolutely.
That's a subset. That's a
It's
subset of the cohort.
Yeah, but it's the same principle. I mean, once that apathy intrudes, infects you, your mindset. Again, I love the word mindset, John, because mindset is where life is all about.
Oh, yeah.
What is your mindset? You know, we talk about this all the time, awareness, and when things go hard for you, you know, you lay down. Well, apathy is a form of quitting,
Right.
right?
Apathy is a form of quitting. I would
Absolutely.
say 100%.
100%. So, I mean, is that what?
1,000%.
1,000%. So if that's what we're doing here, we're having a society of people that quit, you know? Oh, I'm not a quitter. Well, you gave up on the system, you didn't vote, you didn't do this, and now you're just sitting in your recliner eating bonbons and yelling at the TV. Doesn't
Well,
work that way.
You know, I throw that word, that term, the elites. You're going to hear it a lot from me, right? Oh, they can't wait for the masses of people on this planet to be so apathetic, because that means, you're right, they've quit. And then it's easy to shove us all into a fucking meat grinder, because that's what they want to do. And you know something? That movie that Charlton Heston starred in a long time ago, I think it maybe was the late 60s. Remember Soylent Green?
No.
No, Soylent Green, and they were, by the end of the movie, they were, I guess, feeding the masses these nutritious crackers. And then he found out, I know I'm killing it, but I haven't seen that movie in 50 years.
Well, that's enough.
And then he realized that they were taking the people that passed, and of course the government and the elites were kind of nudging the people to pass, right? And then they were processing their bodies, and out comes Soylent Green. So he says, Soylent Green, our people. Right. So they were feeding people that passed back to the people that were still alive. Guess what? That's the direction we're going in if you're going to be apathetic. What about the plans now by some of these slick whiz kids and high-tech bullshit people that they came up with this great light bulb over their head? I've got it. Wow, insects are high in protein and they multiply by the bazillions. So let's just have insect farms and grind them up and make nutritious high protein crackers out of them and feed that to the masses, because there's a lower carbon footprint and it doesn't create as much heat. Would you please stop with the fucking carbon footprints? Please. It makes me think of Al Gore, and then I won't be able to eat dinner tonight.
John, if people are stuck, the term stuck in poverty in the United States of America, I mean, would you consider them apathetic? Have they just given up on the dream? I mean, to get out of poverty? I mean, maybe circumstances are tough. I know a lot of people pull themselves up, you know, they say, oh, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, a lot of people do get out of poverty, but I think a lot of people, they just get hit so many times. They're just like very apathetic.
It's a great question, and I think that if you really, really, really wanted to dissect that one, there's a lot of moving parts. I mean, I know, you know, I have very dear friends of mine that have come from parts of the population that, you know, are on the lower end of the socioeconomic scale. And they've told me, you know, because I was kind of like their mentor, you know, as a senior surgeon. And they would say, you know, Dr. Gallucci, you know, when my friends heard that I was going to go to med school, they stopped being my friend. And that's sad. That's sad. You know, it's like they, you know, hey, look, when I left home to go to New York City back in 1984 to go to NYU College of Dentistry. No, I'm not a dentist. It took me a year there, to accomplish a couple of things. Number one, I think I mentioned this before, I realized by 2/3 of the way through that year that that's not where I wanted to be. No how, no way. Nothing against NYU College of Dentistry, it just wasn't for this guy, period. And then the other was that I met the girl that became my wife. So it was purposeful. Chewed up a lot of money, too.
John, but talk about getting out of that economic situation. I mean, our parents were there.
Yeah, well,
Our grandparents, they were all there.
oh, 100%. And all I really meant to say, and I got kind of lost in the thought, like I always do.
That's why I jumped in.
I know, but you brought me right back, right?
Right.
You don't even have a formula for bringing me back. All you got to do is open your mouth and you bring me back. Thank you.
My whole life,
Thank
people
you.
have been telling me to shut my mouth. That's
No,
interesting.
not me,
That's
brother,
interesting.
not me. I
Okay.
can't do this without you.
No, yeah.
And so yeah, so when I left home and I made that big step to go live in Manhattan because that's where the school was, I had people that were rubbed. People from Cedar Grove that were rubbed by the fact, oh, look, oh, I had one old friend who is now, God bless him, he's deceased. He was tending bar at a local,
Gin mill.
well, it was actually,
No.
it was the Friar Tuck.
Oh,
It was a
Wow.
banquet venue. And I says, hey, so-and-so, how are you? What do you think comes out of the guy's mouth? Now, he was one of my better friends in early grammar school. But then in high school, he was nowhere because he was one of those guys that immediately kind of like segregated himself off and he took the path of like a work study program. Hey, that's wonderful. Maybe we need more of that today, but he did that, so he wasn't around. He was a natural athlete. The guy could smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day and drink and go run 10 miles like it meant nothing. I couldn't do that to save my life. I say, hey, how are you? And he took my drink order. Let me have whatever, 2 beers, one for me and one for my guest. And he said the thing that I did not want to hear. He said, oh, he says, yeah, big doctor now, huh? Big doctor. Well, I being I don't sound like an empath. I sound like sometimes like an angry lunatic. Look, we're making a show here, and I hope that you find it amusing. But I am an empath, and the dark side of me wanted to grab him by his little clip-on bow tie, pull him in, and boom, just drop him where he stood. How dare you? How dare you give me that apathetic bullshit line? Oh, big doctor now. That wasn't who I was at all. I was somebody who followed a life destiny to help people. So his line to me that day was like the worst of what apathy can be.
Mm.
I'm just, it still flabbergasts me. It still does. And it still, believe it or not, it still hurts. It still hurts that he threw that bullshit line at me. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Huh? Sit here, go down to the fucking Grasshopper, which is a bar in the town I grew up with. I think it's still there, right? And I was a bouncer in one of the other places. I was a bouncer at the Baron. Would everybody be happy with me if I just decided to sit there at the end of the bar, learn how to smoke, which I can't do, I can't stand it, and drink beer after beer and look at some band that's going and drinking beer after beer, get myself a denim jacket with embroidered patches, and that's how I'm supposed to live my life? Get over yourselves and get over your fucking apathy. How's that, Bones?
Wow, Bones is really. We know how he feels about apathy. But John, just think back about that. Think about any immigrant that comes over. I mean, they're put in a tough situation. So they could either lay down, and just hide in the corners, not be a part of this great country, the United States of America, or they can go after that dream. And I'm sure it's not easy. It wasn't easy for our ancestors.
No.
I know my mom and my grandfather had a tough time coming over here, not speaking the language. I mean, it's really hard. But, that past generations, there was no apathy. For the most part, everybody fought their way out,
Right.
and they passed that on to us. I know you're a fighter. I know I'm never going to lay down. So that's what happens.
Right.
But nowadays, it just seems like, you know what? All right, it's okay. I'm supposed to be in this little corner over here. That's where I'm going to stay. I'm not going to bother anybody. Nobody's going to bother me.
Right.
you know, I'll just say whatever they're going to dish out, I'll take.
Right.
No, thank you.
Wasn't it you who you recanted a story?
Oh, boy.
Phil, I think, recanted a story about Ellis Island. Was it your mother that had pink eye?
My mother had pink eye,
Right?
yeah.
Mother
yeah.
had pink eye. How old was she, do you know?
Oh, God, I'm going to say 22.
Oh, so she was a young adult. And what did they do? They held her up.
They held her.
They held her up at the border at Ellis Island.
She was there for days.
Okay, right.
Otherwise, they were going to ship her
Today
back.
they're letting everybody and their brother and sister in through the southern border. And you know what? You know what? The guy that's supposed to be in the White House needs to be escorted out. He needs to be in shackles, escorted out. He and his feckless cohorts. All right, okay. But you know something? Another quick story about coming over here as an immigrant. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that my father's father, he had a brother. His brother's name was Mike, and I think he was 2 years older than him, and he was Tom. Mike and Tom, right? They came over here. I can't remember the name of the ship now. I'll remember after the episode. But they came on a semi-rusty junk from Europe to the New York harbor. And it was just those two boys. I think they were 6 and 8. My grandfather was 6 years old. Maybe it was 4 and 6, because I saw an old picture. It must have been 4 and 6. And one of the crew members on that ship looked at my grandfather and tried to scare him. And he says, "You know what we do with these little ones that are skinny and unhealthy? We throw them overboard to the sharks." My grandfather could barely speak English, but he understood what the guy was saying, and he recanted that story over and over and over again. It stuck with him. That son of a bitch on that ship scared the fuck out of my grandfather as a small child. Apathy, and they came over, just the three of them. The father had to stay back there to do whatever the hell he was doing, and then like I think it was a half a year or a year later, then he came and joined them. I mean, that's traumatic. Everybody seems to think that there are only people today that experience trauma. Oh, the people at the southern border. Oh, the people coming across Europe from the Middle East, like they're the only ones. We are on planet trauma, people. We're on planet trauma. So you know what? Don't be apathetic about any of it, and just try to live your best life. And we're going to go always back to the core of the truth, that your heart and mind is creative, because you were born to be a creator. You were born of the Creator to be a creator. So use your creativity and put your emotion behind it. You think I'm a stark, raving lunatic when I get angry and yell and scream and toss F-bombs? No, that's the emotion that I have. That's the energy that I have. And if you peel the layers of my onion, I am an empathic healer, and I love people, and I get angry, I think, because of the very word apathy. Apathy drives me crazy.
Horrible word.
It is. It is.
And so on this Memorial Day weekend, you know, I don't think we should, you know, we should put our voices out there and make sure if there's anybody we know that's apathetic, or, you know, it just always, we just say something to them, cheer them up, tell them about their mindset, you know, give them a phone call, go see them, say, hey, come on, lift yourself up, let's go.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I totally agree.
Right.
I think that's a good way of alchemizing. Bones, do you have anything to say?
About what, the weekend, you think? He's going to talk about the weekend?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, come on.
John and Phil, gentlemen,
You.
I just want to say happy Memorial Day weekend to everyone.
Wow.
You know, I'm a veteran, so happy Memorial Day weekend. It means so much to me, and I want to reach out to all my friends that are veterans in all of the VFWs and the American Legion halls everywhere, and to the Elks and to everywhere else. Have a nice cold one on tap for me. Drink responsibly if you must drink, and drive safely, and let this be a blessed Memorial Day weekend.
Who is this guy?
Good for you.
Wow,
Bones.
so
Good.
pathetic.
Good for you. Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and what do you got planned for this weekend, Bones? Are you doing anything?
Oh, come on, John. What could he have planned?
Well, had a great holiday weekend to both you, Phil
Yeah.
and John.
All right.
I'm thrilled this Saturday I'm meeting my daughter
Oh.
on the boardwalk in Seaside Heights.
Oh.
I can't wait, and I hope to go on the Ferris wheel with her.
Oh.
Have a great weekend.
Very good, Bones.
Wow,
Excellent.
He's a family man, too.
Yes,
Wow,
he
wow,
is. Have a good time at Seaside, Bones.
Yeah.
Don't let those wheels rust.
John, great episode.
All right? God
Thank
bless,
you very
brother.
much.
Okay.
People, if you like what we're doing, press like and subscribe to the Jersey Alchemist and to all our veterans out there and soldiers of all our wars fought and won. Thank you very
All
much.
over the world. And stamp out apathy, people. No apathy.
No apathy. Peace. Till next time.